The hidden language of the market. If you aspire to truly command the violent currents of the market, you must first accept a fundamental truth that most never realize. The market has a language of its own. It does not speak through the morning headlines. It does not whisper through the hurried tweets of the crowd. It certainly does not reveal itself in the confident declarations of television pundits. It speaks only through its actions, through price and volume. Before we go further, let me ask you this. If you want to keep learning how to hear the whispers of the market before they become shouts, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Because in this series, we're not chasing headlines or noise. We're decoding the hidden language that has made and broken fortunes for over a century. The market is a living entity, breathing with the pulse of the crowd, roaring in panic, and whispering quietly during phases of accumulation. Yet to hear this language, you must strip away all distractions. The breaking news, the rumors, the endless forecasts. These are nothing more than static. The untrained ear hears noise. The disciplined observer hears signals. Jesse Livermore, the boy who abandoned a Massachusetts farm to seek fortune, learned this truth in the bucket shops of his youth, crude gambling parlors where men wagered nickels and dimes on the tiniest fluctuations in stock prices. Unlike the others, Livermore didn't throw his money away on constant bets. He sat in silence, eyes fixed on the ticker tape, watching the endless stream of numbers print across the machine. To him, it wasn't random. It was a secret code. He discovered that the ticker tape, those endless streams of prices, was the greatest textbook ever written. No teachers, no mentors, no analysts. Only the raw voice of the market itself. Each uptick, each downtick, each pause, each surge. These were hieroglyphs of speculation, mysterious characters written by the invisible hand of supply and demand. Those who could learn to read them would glimpse the intentions of the great operators moving unseen beneath the surface. Newcomers to the market almost always commit the same fatal mistake. They trade based on what they hope will happen, instead of what the market is actually doing. They hear a news report and imagine prices must rise. They catch a rumor and fear prices will fall. They buy because someone said so, and they sell because the news looked bad. But the market doesn't care about your hopes, your fears, or your borrowed opinions. It moves only to the rhythm of supply and demand, the eternal struggle between buyer and seller. Livermore once said, "The market is never wrong. Opinions often are. Brutal, but true. When you buy on a headline and prices sink lower, the market is not wrong. It has simply spoken a language you failed to understand. You misread its words, blinded by noise. Every movement of price is a sentence. A subtle drift higher may be a whisper. A violent breakout may be a shout. But unless you've trained your eye to read the tape, you will never notice the meaning behind the words. Most see ripples on the surface. Livermore trained himself to feel the deep current beneath. This is why volume matters so deeply. Price can be manipulated in the short term, but volume is the truth teller. A price rise on heavy volume, that is the market declaring real demand. A decline on light volume, that may be nothing more than shadows on the wall. Price begins the story. Volume confirms whether it is real. Imagine yourself in one of those bucket shops long ago. You would see Livermore, motionless, unmoved by the shouts and wagers around him. He did not chase every fluctuation. He observed, hour after hour, day after day. He trained his eye to notice the subtle connection between price and volume, the hidden intent behind every swing. He was not gambling. He was learning the language. The market does not announce, "I am about to rise." It simply refuses to fall despite endless bad news. It does not proclaim, "I am about to collapse." It merely fails to climb higher even in the face of glowing reports. The market whispers, and only the disciplined can hear. By the time the crowd finally notices, the move is already underway, and the fortune has already been made. Think of it as listening to a heartbeat. A doctor reads the pulse, not the patient's words. The tape is the heartbeat of the market. News is only the fever, a symptom, not the cause. Price and volume are the vital signs that reveal true health or hidden sickness. The greatest challenge is not learning the language. It is silencing the noise inside your own mind. You will be bombarded by endless opinions, friends, forums, analysts, headlines. Everyone is certain they know the future. But the market does not bend to opinion. It speaks only one language, and if you are not listening, you will be deaf to the only truth that matters. Livermore insisted, when the market tells you something, believe it, even if everyone else says the opposite. That was how he avoided traps, how he placed his bets when the tide was turning, how he stood prepared when opportunity struck. This hidden language is not mastered by the impatient. It does not reward gamblers, thrill-seekers, or those desperate for quick riches. It demands observation, endless hours of it. It demands humility, the willingness to admit you are wrong, and the market is right. And yet, the reward is immense, the ability to hear the whisper before it becomes a roar. Most say knowledge is power. In speculation, observation is power. Newsreaders know yesterday, analysts forecast tomorrow, but the tape speaks now. And in speculation, only the present pays. Do not believe you need genius to master this. Livermore was not a mathematician or an economist. He was a boy with sharp eyes and relentless patience. The market spoke to everyone in that bucket shop, but only he listened. Only he learned the words hidden in the numbers. And from those humble days of silent observation, he began the journey toward mastery, not by fortune, not by theory, but by learning to hear a language few even know exists, the hidden language of the market. So remember this: if you want to survive, if you want to win, you must learn the only tongue the market ever speaks. Ignore the noise, forget your hopes, abandon your fears. Look only at the message of price and volume. To live, to thrive, to master this game, you must learn to hear the market's whisper before it turns into a scream.